Miss Barcarola, at last you've graced us with your presence. Henry and I were just having a little wager on whether we'd see our musical star outside the spotlight. Looks like he'll be buying me the next round of whiskey, eh?
Well, that's signore. Allow me to pour you the first glass. How do you like your whiskey? On the rocks, perhaps?
Indeed. Thank you, my dear.
Over here, Mum! It's Miss Barcarola! Last time I saw her, she performed an entire symphony all by herself. She was the whole orchestra. I've never seen anything like it.
It's good to see you again, my little friend.
Miss Barcarola, what a pleasure. I've heard so much about you. My child hasn't stopped talking about you since you spoke to him about the didgeridoo at Sydney Harbour. He was so excited by it that he begged us to bring one on board.
How lovely! The didgeridoo truly is an enchanting instrument. It's so resonant, don't you think? It almost feels like it's echoing from the depths of the earth itself. I've actually been experimenting with playing it alongside my crackly box. It's a wonderful match with the tin whistle and kalimba, and I'm sure a number of other instruments too.
Looks like she's pretty popular too.
Two?
Have you forgotten, Sonetto? You're also looking at a popular public figure yourself. One that had half of London hunting. Cheering for her. Ah, the bittersweet burden of fame.
That group over there seems unusually uptight.
Oh, those are the captain's special guests. They're from one of the Oceania archipelagos. Nukuteao, I believe. They're probably just a bit nervous. I imagine they don't often find themselves among so many foreigners.
Nukuteao. I read about it in a history of arcane ethnicity back in the SPDM. It's a remote place, and its people hold a special kind of shell at the center of their beliefs. They've rarely made contact with the outside world. It's often been described as a peaceful paradise. I also read that the Nukutai almost never leave their homeland. Why are they here?
The Nukutai will never abandon our homeland. Just wait. We'll find our way back when the new era comes.
The new era.
Towa, that's enough. Tutu told us not to talk with outsiders.
But someone had to tell them the truth.
I apologize. I didn't mean to accuse you of anything. I was just curious.
Well, next time, keep your mouth shut. What could you possibly know about the Nukutai?
Please, everyone, no fighting. I'm Barcarola, the musical director. Is there anything I can help you with? I'll do all I can to ensure everyone has a pleasant experience.
What's going on? What do you want? Tutu! Salone, Toa, stay back! These outsiders can be dangerous.
Dangerous? Have you never heard of me before?
Whoever you are, I ask that you leave us in peace.
You...
Tutu, think the tides you came. I wasn't sure what to do.
So are we going to take Miss Grace's offer or not? She promised it would bring our island back.
Enough, Toa. These outsiders don't need to know why we're here. And stop mentioning Miss Grace. Could draw unwanted attention.
But what's there to hide? There's no shame in wanting our home back. If we don't stand with Miss Grace, we'll lose Nukuteao forever.
I want to go home too. Probably more than anyone. I already miss Melly's red coral reefs, blue sea, and canoe races. We'll get through this, Toa. I promise we'll be neighbors again, picking breadfruit and coconut flowers together. But before we accept Miss Grace's offer, there's a few things that need to be made clear. And remember, none of these passengers are to blame for what happened to our home. Okay?
But Miss Grace has offered us a way home. We'll have our islands back, just as they were. Our promised land.
We will go home, Sloane. Trust me. I just need to figure out a few things first. Starting with this wonderful new era she keeps talking about.
You seem a little on edge, Chief Kamuda.
Miss Grace, how much longer do we have to wait for this new era to come? Many of our people have never left Nukuteao before. We're struggling to adjust. Some have even fallen sick. We can't stay adrift on the sea like this much longer. Our spirits are low. The shells of some of my people have begun to crack. Not everyone is strong enough to endure this journey. Please, Miss Grace, you have to help us.
While it pains me to hear this, the journey must go on. You have nowhere to return to after all. We still have some space below deck. You can use it to store your people's bodies should they die.
That's not exactly what we're asking for. Please show us another way. Help us like you did when you foresaw the destruction of Melly. I beg of you.
I've already shown you a way, haven't I?
You mean joining the Manus? But the Nukutai haven't had a conflict with anyone for centuries. That's why we hid ourselves away from the world. Difficult to persuade my people to do this. All we want is for our people to return to familiar soil, to feel our spirits at home. Nothing more.
But Mali is already gone.
Yes, but that doesn't mean we should take revenge on the outside world. It was an act of the sea itself. It would be unjust to blame anyone for it.
What about the torpedo test sites designated over Malaga and Vaipuna? Aren't there people who should answer for that?
It was probably just a mistake. The area they chose was far from the main islands of Nukuteao, and hardly anyone fishes there. They may not have realized that my people lived there.
And the oil spill? The wastewater discharge? Were all those fish killed by pollution also just an act of the sea?
Please, we're not looking for conflict.
Of course you're not. After all, they've only stolen everything you've ever held dear. And arrogantly assumed every inch of this planet is theirs to exploit. War is inevitable, whether you want it or not, Nukutai. But if you join us, you will have an invaluable ally. Time. The window is closing. The sifting is about to begin.
Has it really come to this? To revenge?
Oh no. It's quite the opposite. It's salvation.